Hi, this is Jacqueline Frey. I'm a therapist and life coach, and this is Rachel.
Hi.
She's also like my co-partner in crime, and she's a therapist as well. We're both in Florida. I'm licensed in New Jersey, though, too. And today we're going to talk about something that's come up a little bit, especially since back to school time, about being a parent and finding balance between saying no and setting boundaries for certain things, but then also allowing your child to have autonomy and creativity and being empowered as a little growing into an adult eventually kind of person. So I wanted to hear your thoughts first on this, Rachel, like how you do with finding that balance or like kind of what goes on in your head when you're trying to navigate such.
Well, I think parenting is really hard. Probably the hardest thing I do. And it's always changing. So it it's tough. It's like a very difficult thing.
And so for other people like to know, like how old are your kids right now?
Okay, so my daughter just started high school and she's almost 15.
Oh
And my
God.
son is 12.
Oh God. That's
And
fun.
yeah, so too, he's in middle school, she's in high school. This is my first year where they're at different schools.
Oh, cool.
And they're totally different kids, girl and boy, and strong-willed and easygoing. So I feel like nothing works for this each of them. You got to do things differently.
So is your younger boy the one that's easygoing more?
Yes.
Okay, I nailed it. Haha. I mean, I
Yeah.
kind of had a cheat sheet, but like I did. So how, when we say we're trying to like find balance, can you think of a particular instance where this has come up for you? Or maybe not even with your like your own kids, maybe with a client or something like that.
Well, I think it's important to be open and be willing to talk or try to talk to your kids. Like my age group that I have right now, they want to do their own thing. So I think it's important to check in and for them to feel comfortable coming to me. I That's probably the most important, I feel like, with
Well,
parenting.
and I think you've had to have cultivated that though, like when they were younger. So like, how did you get to the point where I'm assuming they don't detest you and they feel like coming to mom occasionally?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like our home, like we've always kind of been more of like a fun, free. I've always tried to just have where we have open communication.
Yeah.
Not saying it's all perfect all the time, but I'm definitely more the easygoing, less disciplinarian than my husband wants to be more of the disciplinarian. But I think overall it's depending on the situation, they feel comfortable coming to us.
Yeah. And I feel like you're less judgy. Like, there's all walks of life and parenting and stuff out there. And I've come across with my clients, and some are more like type A and very driven and perfectionist and expect that of their children. So there's like a lot of pressure. I don't see you guys as that as much. Am I wrong here?
No, I think we're more easygoing, definitely.
Yeah.
I have some of my clients, it's like one definitely takes on the role of the disciplinarian and someone's kind of more in the back. I feel like we kind of ebb and flow a little bit more, and like me personally,
Like
my
you mean
husband.
like you switch spots or
Yeah, like if he's more disciplinarian, I might well, he is naturally, but I kind of take a step. I kind of allow that and then pull him aside and say, "Oh, well, wait, are you sure?" Like,
I love that you do that though, like you pull them aside because it's not always easy. I
Yes.
imagine in the moment, like no.
And there were many times where I confronted it in front, and then that's a no go, in front of the kids.
Yes, but I mean, I'm assuming it was a no go because they're like divide and conquer.
Yeah, and then they can see all of those aspects. So I think it's important to have strict, somewhat strict rules, like when it comes to your values and your goals. Like we put a higher importance on education than maybe other people that we know, or we believe athletics is important.
Oh, okay.
But maybe like that, maybe we believe that because our kids are a bit athletic. I don't know. But it's kind of, we talked about these when they were little and it's kind of evolved.
So respecting their autonomy, and what I mean by that is like yes, they're kids, but they have like a right to have a choice and say what they do and they don't want to do. So when it comes to like, let's say sports, did you say you have to do this or how did that evolve?
Well, no. never you have to do this, but we wanted them to be in other activities.
Okay.
I think that was something that I never grew up with. But my husband did, and my husband kind of tried everything, but wasn't ever really good at anything, but had
At
like
least
a
he
little
tried.
taste. And I think he enjoyed that it was important that he got to have those little experiences of the activities throughout his life.
Well, for sure. I think like definitely sports and it's probably other like groups and stuff like that. But when I see in sports is like, he could teach you camaraderie, can teach you like what to do when you make a mistake or if you fail or if you're a good winner. Like it can teach you a lot of like life lessons. And then also you're like putting yourself out there, you're disciplined. Like it's got a lot of those like layers that are really helpful that will go on in life. So I could see how sports would be valuable or something along those lines.
Work, like teamwork,
Yeah.
can be, and even if it's not sports and it's music or it's some type of activity, just other than just school and being at home. But I know that some people don't have those same values. But I think like what you value as a family, I feel like we've practiced this at a younger age and it's kind of evolved.
Yeah, like that. We should probably put that, like, make a little bullet point for that. Basically, is you want to start off when they're young, like what you value and what like these kind of rules that you want to have down. If you want them to appreciate that when they get older, like if you want to teach them to be kind to others or manage their money or whatever your value may be, you want to start small, something that's appropriate for their age. You're not gonna have this like big in-depth talk when they're 4, but like you want to be like, this is a paper dollar. Let's keep this, or let's take it to the toy chest and pick something out. Like you want to start small with those values.
Definitely. So I'll say, like, at the age groups of my kids right now, I've found recently, like, just saying no doesn't really work anymore for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are evolving into, like, our own personalities, and they have things that are important to them, and I might not agree with it. So, I'm feeling a little bit like I'm in this weird zone that I haven't been before. And, there's pushback.
So I gotta stop you because I have like 1,000 questions. So if they're saying like, if you say no and they're like, well, why? Or like, you're not hearing me, or like, I don't know, if they challenge it, do you invite the challenge in and then do you make your points, or are you like, hey, little kid, I'm your parent, shut the crap up? Like, I don't know how you navigate that.
It's all based on the mood. I mean, not really, but kind of. It's like if I have time to like sit there and say, okay, well, wait, why do you want to do this? What is this? Like, what's the purpose? And then I feel like I have a better understanding. It's easier for me to either cheer or give a better explanation of why, no, not just yet.
I love what you said there, because you're trying to hear them out versus like immediately shutting them down, because you're also teaching them how to like operate in the world and how to have good communication skills. So you hear them out first, get more clarification, don't immediately think that they're wrong, even though you're like, yeah, you kind of might be. And so, but you're like letting them have a voice. So I do like that.
Yeah, I try. I don't know.
Why are you, I feel like you're making a face, so I'm curious if I'm saying something that you're like, no.
Yes, I hope that. I think the biggest thing about parenting is we all try to do our very best and do better or as good, or, change what we wanted different from our childhood. And so even as I'm like talking about this, I finger crossed hope that I'm doing it the right way. And I think it's like so scary, because you don't know. You could be the perfect parent, think you're the perfect parent, and your kid makes a bad choice or the wrong people that they're around.
I really see it like it's like this, I don't know, total mental F, because you're trying to figure out the best way to be a parent. And there's always a different situation every time you wake up, and you're hoping that you show up great. And you're like, which one of these things is going to lead them off to a successful life, or, end up in rehab and hating their mother. Like,
I know.
Not that it's that severe all the time, but like, it's just, you're kind of doing it a little bit like on a hope and a prayer, and like, is this the right way?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think sometimes we naturally react.
Yeah.
And that's like the go-to emotion when you hear something, you're like, what? But when you think about the developmental stages of their brain and, for my kids, their age group, everything's like immediate, and so they want that immediate response. And sometimes when I give the immediate response, is the no.
It's
like,
not your best response. Yeah.
Yes. So
would it be like in my head, I'm thinking it'd be good to like tell them like, hey, can I table this for now or whatever? Like you may not be able to do that. Nobody's perfect, but like let's revisit this later tonight when I have more bandwidth.
Yeah. And honestly, to be like a united front, a lot of times I'm like, let me and dad talk and we'll get back to you. So
I love that because okay, so what I'm gleaning from this conversation though so far is you're making sure you're in united front, but also it gives you time to talk to someone else that either might have a different perspective. Yes, a cooler head from the situation, so it's good. And then you're also trying to hear, you may not agree with it, but you're still hearing their perspective.
Right.
So I do like that.
And sometimes I think like just giving things time, they evolve, like they change on their own. Like what's important to my daughter in the moment might be less important in an hour.
Oh.
So
it's the old tactic of like, Mom, can I have a dog? Oh, maybe. Let me think on it or something like that.
And then you don't, it just kind of goes away.
No, I love that. Because I was actually talking also to a client the other day, and we were talking about this topic, which is why I brought this up with you, is trying to realize like what hill you want to die on. Like, how important is this to me? Why am I so hell bent on them listening to what I have to say when really I don't need to have it my way? It can be, the child's way. It doesn't have to be my way just because I say so. Like, I feel like your ego is coming into play there and you have to like challenge that sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, I 100% agree with that. And it's really hard though in the moment because you think, I'm the parent, I'm right.
Yes.
But we all had to make mistakes. We all had to, like, we had to fail at things. And so it's like, when do you allow that to happen?
Ooh.
And so I see with my daughter going to a new school and, I'm thinking, oh gosh, she's going to, all these new people, what if she says the wrong thing? But in all reality, that's how you learn in life.
Yeah.
Like in this moment.
So maybe you need to like
let her have.
Yeah. So like let's say, your child might want to go to a different school than you wanted her to go to, or go do cheerleading or run for prom queen. And you're like, oh, I don't know about that. Or maybe like that's not for you, honey, or something. But just letting her do that and figuring that out for herself.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's part of it too. And you just hope you do the right thing as a parent.
I know.
In every little step of the way. And honestly, looking back is like when they were babies, I thought, oh, this is so tough. And it just gets harder every phase. So, geez, I don't know.
Okay. So that's interesting because I've had clients go, please, God, someone tell me it's easier. Like the client I'm thinking of has younger kids. And I'm thinking it just evolves with age. Some stuff gets harder, but some stuff goes away. But I don't know if you really are like, no, it gets freaking terrible.
Well, it would be so much easier if you can just put a Band-Aid on it. Or, if the biggest problem in the world is that they don't like their snack or, they bump their toe. But it's like the problems become bigger problems and there's less that we're as parents are able to help with, I think. Ooh. So it's more out of our control in how the kid reacts, like what the situation is, because it's people that we can't go talk to, it's like it has. Yeah. So you just have so much less control as they get older. Whereas when they're little babies, they're 2-year-olds, they're coming to you to put a Band-Aid on their boo-boo.
And you have a lot more control, which is good. I mean, it's good in the respect, like you have the control, you don't feel helpless, like you can kind of navigate things, it's in your power, but then it's all on you to do, like fix the boo-boo or, fix things. But now they have to go do it themselves.
And it's hard to watch.
Oh my gosh. Like, what are you thinking of particularly? I'm curious.
Like what situation?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I think just interactions with friends. And then I think about my own experiences and how, like, I remember in high school, I wore these shoes and I thought that they were really cute. And I went and I wore them to school and I got made fun of and picked on. And so it's like when my daughter, it's like I want her to have her own style, but then I also want her to
not get picked on.
And it's like I have no control of that,
Yeah, I think looking back to my childhood too, like my parents gave me the autonomy to pick out what I wanted to wear and pretty much do whatever in terms of aesthetics, like with the and reason, like, maybe perming my hair was popular. I don't know why, but or like dyeing it or something. But like when they put their foot down more, it was more like a safety concern. Like if I was going over to a party in a not great neighborhood and a not great time, I was a teen at the time. But like that's when they'd be like, okay, nope, you're making a bad choice. It's like safety. We got to say no on this one. So they gave me a little rope to kind of play.
Yeah. And then I think I jumped to the worst conclusion. So
Well,
I used to do probation. So my undergrad degree was criminal justice. And so I did juvenile probation.
oh yeah, I remember you.
And so it's like in that career setting, I could see how one bad choice
Ooh,
led, like drinking and driving or being in a car with someone who was, or, like there's all these like huge things, consequences.
yeah,
But your brain is little. And so, or that's not the right
not
words,
little, but like you're not fully developed,
yeah,
right?
you're not
Your
making
executive function's not fully developed.
yes. So it's like I don't know, I'm getting caught up, but I just feel like there's a lot of I saw the worst of the worst with
Yeah.
that job in adolescence in a way, and so it's like I have more fear.
I feel like that could make you be really controlling with your kids. Be like, oh, I saw this at my work, and you will not do this, and you will not end up like this, and there's no way, no how, and you'll end up behind bars. So, no to you going over to Little Timmy's on a school night.
But sometimes I have to say like, no, Rachel, like you're going crazy. This is not really what's going to happen, So it's sometimes I have to talk myself off the ledge.
Yeah, like you see too many cautionary tales.
And then a whole nother aspect is I think I see a lot of other people that have similar like their kids act similar or have similar problems, and because we don't talk about it amongst each other, it's like you think your kid's the only one going through this.
For sure.
So I think that's a whole thing, open communication with your child, but also your close friends to talk about like, oh my gosh, what should I do in this situation, or what, without divulging too much.
No, I think that, they always say it takes a village. And lately, this might be a more macro issue than we want to, like another, what is it, rabbit to chase after, but we don't necessarily want to be like squirrel and like run after it. But I think we've been a little disconnected lately as a whole. Maybe not everybody in the United States, but we've gotten to our own little pods, our own little devices. So it's good to go back to like the it takes a village and checking in with either your parents, if you have parents, or your friends, or whatever. Like, how did you do this? And how do you navigate this? And hopefully they'll be not judgmental and they'll kind of give you their point of view appropriately.
Yeah. I agree. Because it's hard to get caught up in online stuff, like
yes.
like
the perfectness of it all.
I don't know, online advice or TV shows. We've already done a
little podcast
on TV shows, but it's like we see this family on TV and you expect your family to be that way, and it's not that way. And so being realistic.
Yeah. And I do like the whole idea of like camaraderie too. And honestly, it's, how we like Google things all the time to get a broader perspective or to like know something we don't know. We don't realize that we have Google in our friends, in their experiences. Yeah. So just by asking them, oh, I didn't think about that. Thank you for adding that to my little lexicon of information. Maybe I will do something like that with my kids. So I think it helps to just talk about it, get more information, but also feel like you're not freaking alone, doing everything wrong, banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, I agree. And I think back to school, it's been a challenge, like in the recent weeks, we've gone back to school. And so I think it's good timing to talk about kids and adolescents and how to deal with stuff. So
especially like there's those milestones, like once you leave primary school or elementary school and go on to middle school or go on to high school, like those are the times when like personalities change and, they're just going into new developmental phase, but they're also like meeting new challenges and probably getting on your last nerves and also trying to figure out like how to help them the best.
Yeah. And everything's new, like it's a new, fresh year, but new ways to communicate with teachers, new ways to meet friends, having new friends. So yeah, it's like be patient with the process.
Exactly. Patient with the process, patient with yourself. There was one more thing I wanted to add to that before we kind of like wind down. But I think it's also important to remember that just because you as parents did something in your generation a certain way and it's different now doesn't mean like your way is right. Like this situation is different. This time of life is different. So it's important to be open to what is going on presently in their lives rather than just looking at from your scope when you were younger.
I love that. And I have a good example of that.
Oh, I love it.
So, my son loves to play, well, now he doesn't, but he used to play Fortnite. Like a
I've
video
heard of
game.
Fortnite. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I would be like, oh my gosh, he's on the video games too much. It's just too much. And my husband had like a really good way of pointing out that this is how they're communicating. You know, it's not just playing a video game like when we were kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's they're talking to their friends, they're problem solving. So they're working, it's more of like a community, not to say it like I'm
I know it's almost like you hate saying it that way.
but it's not just like you're sitting there playing Nintendo like when I was a kid,
Correct.
staring at a TV screen for
Correct.
8 hours. Yes, there needs to be limits, but it's a totally different thing than when we were kids.
Well, and I'm trying to like set it as, think about like you're playing a board game with your friends. Parents would totally co-sign that and be like, yes, that's totally fine. That's essentially what they're doing. It's just on a screen because they're still talking, they're still problem solving, they're still like joking, they're still having all those good interpersonal relationships, but it's on a screen. So it makes it kind of hard to swallow.
Yeah. Yes. So I do think that like times have changed and we have to change too. You know, we have to look at things a little bit differently. I'm not like an advocate for like all day long video gaming.
No, I know.
It's just, that was a good example of like how, or a thought that popped in about how stuff has changed.
Yeah. No, and I think you do good trying to find like respecting what they want to do, but also giving them choices. I love that too. Like, I think it's important as a child to feel somewhat in control so that way they can feel confident to make mistakes, confident to go to their parents, confident to really explore their own identity. So that way when they go out into the bigger world, maybe not the real world, but the bigger world, they already have like a little training ground, if you will.
Perfect. I like it. I agree.
Woohoo. Go team, go. Well, thank you for chatting with me about this very apropos subject right now, since everybody's going back to school. And we'll leave it there. But, thank you. If you're listening out there, if you're watching on YouTube, we always appreciate you liking, subscribing, following. If you were also interested in I'm a life coach. We're both therapists. We're both licensed in Florida, but then also I'm licensed in New Jersey. So feel free to hit up all the links below. If you're listening, there should be some links in the description as well. But anyway, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.